USC football program. My claim being that Matt Barkley has been an overall positive presence as quarterback for the USC football team rather than quarterback Matt Leinart. It's easy to point a finger and choose the best quarterback at USC, but without the right information backing that claim up, it would just be a question of value rather than fact. So with that said, although Matt Leinart has had more personal bests, Matt Barkley has had more accomplishments that directly impact the team. Yes, Leinart has only played and started in 3 seasons, having won the most personal titles compared to Barkley according to the official USC football players profile, such as the 2004 Heisman Trophy, Quarterback of the Year, Manning Award, and the Walter Camp Award, just to name a few out of the 12. But also according to the official USC players profile, Barkley, who has played and started in 4 seasons, has beat USC records by being the first ever freshman starting quarterback in the USC football history. He has also been the first sophomore in USC history to be captain, and continues his records this season by being the first ever consecutive team captain 3 years in a row. Leinart, however, has only been team captain during the 2004 season as a junior. In spite of having more accomplishments that directly impact the USC football team, taking into account USC's 2010 and 2011 seasons imposed with sanctions and a new head coaching system, Matt Barkley has delivered critical leadership to USC teammates, personnel, and fans. Having stayed loyal to the sinking program, Barkley kept the team afloat by constantly turning down the option to be drafted into the NFL before his NCAA eligibility was up, even though he would have been within the top 10 picks in the first round, according to Gary Klein of the Los Angeles Times. Since sanctions were imposed in 2010, for 2 years, Barkley represented hope by encouraging his team that regardless of their ban in winning titles, they could still fight on, pun intended. In an interview, Stephen Henson, expert Yahoo Sports writer, had with Coach Kiffin about the effects the sanctions had on the team and the program, he said, "We had to recruit our own players to stay. You have coaches around the country flying our guys in during summer school. A lot of times it's not premier players, but it's backups who teams are telling, if you come here, you can start." Confirmed by Shelley Smith of ESPN, having lost scholarship funding, players' morale, and past titles, USC players felt they would be showcased more positively and gain a better chance at starting with a program that had not just been pushed to the bottom of the food chain. And confirmed by Stephen Henson of Yahoo Sports, 6 players non-starters did transfer out of USC, but Barkley chose to stay. On top of the sanctions, Trojans faced yet another change. 9-year head coach Pete Carroll took the opportunity to coach the Seattle Seahawks in 2010, bringing in Lane Kiffin. Unlike Leinart, who had Carroll as a coach his entire time at USC, Barkley had to become acclimated to 2 different head coaches during his playing seasons, meaning new plays, new disciplines, and new playing techniques had to be learned. Now, despite the team's trials and tribulations, statistically, Matt Barkley does supersede or will supersede most of Matt Leinart's records. Through sources such as the official USC Players Profile and ESPN, it is recorded that Leinart played 39 games in his 3-season career with a 37-2 win-loss record and 99 touchdowns. Barkley, however, has played 42 games in his 4-season career with a 32-10 win-loss record and has 96 touchdowns to date, with 6 games remaining after silencing. Comparably, Barkley has had 876 career passing completions, Leinart only having 807. Barkley has racked in 10,529 career yards to date, with again 6 games remaining, closing in on Leinart's 10,693 career yards. Barkley has thrown 39 interceptions, while Leinart has only thrown 23 in his career as a Trojan. So you see, although Matt Leinart had more personal bests, Matt Barkley has had more accomplishments that directly impact the USC team. Taking into account USC's 2010 and 2011 seasons imposed with sanctions and a new head coaching system, Matt Barkley has delivered critical leadership to USC teammates, personnel, and fans. And moreover, statistically, Matt Barkley does supersede or will supersede most of Matt Leinert's records when he finishes this 2012 season. In all, settling my claim that Matt Barkley has been an overall positive presence as quarterback for the USC football team than quarterback Matt Leinart. Thank you.
All right, you state the proposition pretty clearly. You do kind of get into a discussion about why it's not really a value claim, although some of the things that you suggest that would make it a value claim, I think, suggest a misunderstanding of what the value issues are. But your claim is a claim of fact as it's being presented. The main drawback that I see in the argument is that I didn't think that the supporting points were very well previewed or laid out during the course of the speech. You've got a lot of information, and all of that information can be overwhelming without some sort of structure to go with it. I did think, though, that you supported the general argument pretty broadly with a lot of information and comparisons. Sometimes the information seemed to bounce back and forth on the same point, so I would get information in one spot that seemed to be repeating itself in another spot. The impact on the team, I think, is good. You keep talking about the hardship years that Barkley went through and the different conditions. One of the things that I think is maybe missing from your argument is an explanation about what efforts Barkley made that his teammates, for instance, thought were substantial and important, and how those could be maybe contrasted to the efforts that Leinart made. But since you're focusing on those two, I think that that's a pretty important consideration. All of the other statistical comparisons you do a good job explaining. I thought that you had a nice way of presenting the argument, and from your lips to God's ears, it'll be a good season here. All right, thank you.